Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a kind of a multi-part video of building a box. This is going to be a box to hold my knives. Right here, this is the plans. I've built a lot of different boxes, humidors. I'm wanting to do something a little different on this one. With this box here, you can see here's where the lid's going to split right here. I'm wanting to do just some kind of, I don't know, just something a little bit different. On the sides, I'm going to have it kind of extend out, this is purely decorative. Then I'm going to have brass rods in here, and then in the bottom I'm going to have the brass rods. Brass pins to help kind of reinforce, and also for looks. On the front, by the lid, this can be split in half, but I'm going to have the circle I'm going to do in probably a walnut or a darker wood. This is going to be cut out, and then so this circle is going to be cut out, and then I'm going to put in the darker wood in there, glue it in, then have the brass studs going around in here. All of this I'm just going to do hand carving, and then kind of like a hand relief carving in the top. Let's see, right here I have the pieces started. What I can do is quickly just kind of set it up so you can kind of visualize how it's going to be. Be like, kind of like that. And here I have the sides cut. It's going to be, the box is actually bigger than I thought. We had a big snowstorm, and I was going to plane everything down to 1/2 inch, but where the planer was stored was behind about 5 foot of snow, so I couldn't get to it in another little shop area. So it's going to be a bigger box, but a lot of times when things don't go as planned, those are a lot of times some of the best projects. You can see here, oops, this is going to be right in here where I'm going to have the wood sections go across. This piece right here is actually going to be, this where I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to have the wood pieces go over here, and you can see that's right in here, and then with the brass rods. And today I'm going to be taking the chisel there, and I'm going to be squaring these off and then start putting the box together. Usually I make a little more of a complex design. This is going to be kind of a simple, I'm going to probably nail it together and hide the nails behind the brass pins. Normally I do a tongue and groove kind of interlocking lid. On this one, honestly not completely sure how I'm going to do it yet. I've planned it out a little bit, but not completely. I think the lid I'll probably just put in, flush everything up. Since this is going to be a much more of a kind of like a rustic design, I'm not really worried about it. And there's going to be a lot of carving and other things that I can hide any visible lines. Right here's the top and bottom for the box that I have ready. I've just glued these two pieces together. I'm going to go ahead and run it through the planer, just smooth everything out, and I can make the top and bottom for it. And that's about it, and I'll take a little more video on my next step. Now I've got the box. I planed the top and the bottom, and then I cut those. Now it's all clamped up, glued, and I'm going to let this sit. And with this box I used nail gun. Usually I don't like using any nails. I like to just do kind of like a tongue and groove and then glue, then clamp it. But well, we'll see how this turns out. It's still in the real early stages. I got a lot of little things, a lot of cleanup, and then all the detail work and carvings that I'm going to put into it. But this is it so far. Okay, now of course the box is glued up. Now what I did is I put on these side pieces here that the brass rod is going to go through. I'm going to drill holes through into there, Then I'm going to have the brass rods lined up. See, you can see right there, that's where the brass rods are going to be. Be drilled in the side, in through the top. Then when I cut the lid off, then I'm going to drill in there. And I'm going to have probably about 3/16, or nah, probably about, actually probably 1/8 of an inch or less, exposed coming through the top so you can see the brass. And that's right up here. I'm trying to figure out the spacing. I'm going to put them right about 1/2 inch, I think. Something like that. But right now I just have the side pieces all clamped, glued. I'm probably going to give these 24 hours just because it's a pretty good fit, but there's going to be a lot of stress on it. So I want to make sure that the glue's really dry. Right now you'll see, I mean, some of this I left a little more exposed on top just so I could sand that down just to make sure that it wasn't under. Then I'll sand the entire surface, make sure that this is perfectly flat. Then on the sides I'll do the same. Get all that sanded right in there. And this is it so far. Okay, I've just cut the box in half. And what I've done now is I've marked out, I don't know if you can see it here. I've marked out the spacing, made this to get my spacing down where the brass pins are going to go through. Now I'm going to go through and start drilling these, and you can see I'm drilling here all the way through, and then I'll cut my pins to be flush with the top here. Let's see. Starting to take shape a little. It's still really rough. And of course there's going to be the hinge in the back there. And you'll have all the brass pins showing through, making it, there's going to be, of course the stop in the middle here, but it's going to look as if the pins are running continually through. And then I'll be doing all my carving on the front and relief carving on the top here. But now it's just kind of the go through the time-consuming part, just drilling all these holes and then cutting all the brass pins. But this is it so far.